Hey everyone, so today I'm going to go over my recovery gear that I'm going to take with me on my trip, and of course if you feel that I'm leaving anything out, leave a comment below and I'll take it into consideration. So to start with, I have these X-Bull traction mats. There is a YouTuber out there called Seek Adventure that did a really great side-by-side test of MaxTrax compared to these. And with these being half the price, or less than half the price of MaxTrax, they actually perform almost just as well. So I decided to go with these. I'm not sure how often I'm really going to have to use them, but I'd rather have them than not have them. And they do fit relatively well on my roof rack, since I've figured out a way to modify it to fit these up. And the only downside is they don't nest together as well as the MaxTrax do. So other than that, I really couldn't see a reason to pay more than double for the MaxTrax. And then what I did is I zip tied these together just to make them easier to move them around while I'm trying to get them on the roof. Zip ties are cheap and I could just cut them off and then put new ones on if I decide to when I put them back up. So, and then in addition to these, I have a set of LITEWAY traction mats, and they're kind of the same concept, but they're half the size. And the point there being is that depending on where you're stuck, sometimes having traction under all four tires is better than two. But I mostly bought those as dual purpose because I plan on using them to level my Jeep if I'm at a camping spot where it needs to be leveled one way or another. A buddy of mine, Super Wheelie Overland, he did some boards on the back of his Jeep that he can easily get to, and he does it just to level his vehicle. So I thought that was a good idea. So I thought to have dual purpose traction mats would be the way to go. So that's those. And then in addition to that, I have a small spade shovel. I have a Crow pry bar, and this I keep inside my cab just in case somebody decided to get in. This here, I ended up going with the longer bar than the shorter bar to take my lug nuts off, just because I thought, you know, it'd be better to have more leverage. So then the one thing that I don't have here obviously is my winch, and I do have a new rope for that I haven't decided if I'm going to put it on or not. Probably should. But for my winch, I do have not only this snatch block, I have another one that's also in the vehicle, so I am going to have two of these. And then to use those, and if I need to use them with a tree, I do have a tree hugger here, and then this here can also be used as a tow line because I got one that was rated at 30,000 pounds. So then here I have a ratchet strap that I could also use to tow if I needed to, and this one is rated at 10,000 pounds. So when winching out vehicles, I've actually used a couple of times now for somebody else's vehicle, not mine, but I've used these aerial cargo net straps, which maybe you've seen me talk about in another video. But these are great because you can take them and wrap them around the axle like on another Jeep, and then I can attach the winch to this part here and pull it out. And if you put one on each side of the axle, and the axle housing anyway, and use them together, it really works well. Like I said, I've done it a couple of times, and I'm always going to carry those around now. So then I have a pair of work gloves, and then I decided I'm going to bring a 3-inch and a 5-inch clamp. Sometimes there's situations where you want to clamp something down, depending on the situation that you're in. Maybe something got partly torn off the vehicle, or something's dragging and it won't stay in place. Sometimes the clamps will keep those in place. And then there's other uses for those as well. So I'm going to carry those. And then here's another military surplus item. This is a smaller ratchet strap, but this I can use, I've used multiple times on my vehicle to hold things down, to tie things down on the roof and on the back tire carrier. But with this, sometimes you just might not need the 10,000 pound larger ratchet strap, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring this smaller one. And then for lifting the vehicle, I do have a high lift, which is on the roof of the Jeep. And I do have jacking points on all four corners, so it's actually useful. I'm not carrying it around for no reason, but I haven't used it yet. I'm going to be out on the road for 8 months, a lot of it on my own, so maybe I might be in a situation where I am gonna need it. But if I don't use it after this trip, I probably won't take it with me again. It's a lot of dead weight otherwise. But like I said, I do have lifting points on the Jeep. But being that it's not good to change tires with, I do also have this bottle jack. So I have this. I'm actually not bringing the handle because a long screwdriver will work just as well. But I went ahead and purchased this axle cradle because I'd rather lift a vehicle by the axle rather than the body. You don't have to lift it nearly as far. But if I do need to lift it by the body, I do have an extra block here that I've used a couple of times already. It's solid, it's sturdy, and just to give it a bit more height if I get into a situation where I need to use that. So, and then I have my Viair air compressor. This connects right to my battery, has a really long air hose on it. I use this all the time on the trails rather than waiting at the air station in line to pump back up after we're done with the trails. I just use this. And it's a little bit longer, but I actually like it a lot. I'm real happy with that purchase. And what I decided to do was carry it around in this ammo can, and the reason for that is this thing gets super hot when it is used for all four tires. So by throwing it in the ammo can, leaving the wires out, it doesn't burn anything, it doesn't get up next to anything, and it's just a great place for it to cool off when I want to just jump in the vehicle and go. So that's why I put it in there. Other than that, that's pretty much it. The one thing I don't have here is a good tire kit. The one that I have just isn't what I want. It's just not good enough for the type of tires that I have. So I have that on order. I have that coming in a couple of days. But that's got the heavy-duty tire repair kit. It's also got valve stems and you know, things that you'd need for general repair on the road. So. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, shackles. I have 4 shackles already on my Jeep, so if I get in a position where I need to put a shackle on somebody else's vehicle or need a shackle for another reason, I can just take one of the 4 off of mine. I seriously doubt I'm going to be in a position where I'm going to need to use all 4 on mine. So those are already hanging on the Jeep. I don't need to carry spares with me for that reason. So like I said, if there's anything that I have left out that maybe I should bring, feel free to leave your comments below. Now let me show you where I'm at, give you a little bit of update. I'm leaving in 3 days to push off, so let me just show you a little bit of what I've done and where I'm at. So I'm still in the process of working through some of the finer details and getting things together. That there is my box that I'm going to have all my extra parts in, and thanks for all the comments. I am seriously going to downsize that and not carry as much. It ended up being pretty heavy. I could barely get it on the roof. So I'm going to cut back on a lot of things and just go with whatever I decide to go with. And then these 2 boxes are going to have my kayak and also my large tent, and then some clothes and some other things. I actually have my water can full of water there, but I have it laying on the side to test for leaks, and I didn't like what was on here, so I had these spouts that I'd purchased separately along with a new vent, and right now this has been laying down for, I don't know, about 6 hours, and there isn't a drop. So the reason I have it laying down is because when I have both of these full, because I do have 2 of them, one's going to have to lay down next to or behind the passenger seat, so I want to make sure that it doesn't leak, because that could be a major problem. So as far as the Jeep goes, I've started to figure out some things. Like I said, I'm bringing the bike, and that's how it's going to go. I've got it up there pretty snug, and I'm just going to use ratchet straps. This here isn't really attached. This is just for me to place the bike on so that I can strap it down with that strap, and then I have just a couple of bungee cords to hold the wheels from spinning and further to secure it. Up there is a 4-person tent that I've put in a separate bag. There's actually the small lightweight tracks. I'm not keeping them up there with the bungee cord. I'm actually going to attach them another way, but I wanted to see how they'd fit. And then in there's all my tent poles, my hiking sticks, my paddles for my kayak. And then on the bottom one there I have the small hatch cover. And then in here I wanted to see if I could actually fit all 5 Ziploc containers, which I can, so I'm going to bring all 5 with me. That's good because I really needed to bring 5. And then I've got a 4th small compartment container up there. And what that does for me is that allows me to have a completely open cab when I'm sleeping back here. So the only thing that's going to be at my feet will probably be one of the water containers, and then maybe my heater if I end up using that on a cold night. But other than that, everything will be completely open here in the back. And then the point of stacking all that there is so that I can actually get into my driver's seat quickly if I need to. So over here is where the other tracks are going to go. There's my high lift. And then what I ended up doing, you can't really see it right now, is I made this, I call it an air deflector, but this is a tarp that I'm going to lift up over my boxes. And it serves 2 purposes. One is so that the gas cans that are sitting up here, which are going to be empty to start my trip, but I will have gas in them when I head out west and up to Canada and Alaska. If they were to get hit by a rock, they would obviously be punctured. So this is heavy duty canvas, so it's going to take quite a bit to puncture something, and I might even still put something in between that and the gas cans. But at the same time, that is going to act as an air deflector that's going to go over the boxes. It's not going to be as ideal as I'd like it to be, but it's going to be something. And then the back here will just be pulled tight with bungee cords. If it flaps around too much, or if I run into problems with it, then I just rip it off and toss it. But that's something that I wasn't planning on doing, that I just decided to do last minute. So other than that, that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's kind of working through all the finer details at this point in time. So feel free to leave your comments. Again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button.